Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Friday, the 9th of July, 2021. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to talk silver today. Simple as that. Okay, last night I was listening to David Morgan. He did a new show about the COMEX being drained. Made quite an impression on me. I'm going to put a link in the description. Especially the first part, his opening of the show. You know what? It's as simple as this. Mining production, has declined somewhat in the last year or so. They were mining over 800 million ounces a year. Now remember that number, 800 million. Now it's down into the upper 700s. It's dropped back some. It's in the 700s. But this is very important to know. The reason why is, yes, there is a lot of silver out there in the world being held in hands by investors. Nobody's selling. Nobody's selling right now because they're all anticipating what's coming. The dam's breaking, guys. And the reason why the dam is breaking is what we have the only silver that's coming in that can be used is the 700 and something million ounces that the miners are producing. That's it. Well, industry takes an awful huge chunk. And these guys in industry, they all have they have I'm having a brain fart. They have these contracts with the silver miners that produce the silver. So you don't ever see that silver. It comes directly from the mine, and through contractual obligations, it goes to these companies that build things, and they gobble it up through the contracts. So the miners pretty much have to deliver, and they're going to get their silver. These companies like they're basically, look at it this way: if there's a pie and they slid it out on the table, and there's an old lady that cooked a pie. She cooked it for her 3 boys. They're gonna take their pieces first of the pie. If you don't get any, that's fine. And this is the miners out there and industry. They're gonna take their pieces of that mining supply, and that's the only silver that's coming into the market. And they're gonna cut their piece out first, so that they can build Apple iPhones or the latest gadgets and technology and everything else, electronics and solar panels and everything else. So what are they going to do? Because it used to be okay. They mining 800 million ounces a year, and industrial demand was maybe taking 3/4 or half, 2/3 of it, but that third that they had left over, that was enough to satisfy the retail investors out there, like you and everybody else that wants to buy an ounce or two of silver. And everything was fine. The world was fine. But suddenly, retail demand, these people that want to buy an ounce or two, they're not wanting to buy an ounce or two anymore. And there's not just a few coming in now and again. There's a whole new horde or army of them. And they're gobbling it all up. And it's putting pressure on the amount that's coming in. They just don't have it. They only have what's coming in from the mining supply. Industry takes most, and now all of a sudden, retail demand wants more than what they can take. Well, they're getting up to 150% of the pie. Somebody's going to not get their silver. Guess who it's going to be? It's not going to be industry. They have contracts and contractual obligations to the miners to supply those contracts. It's not going to be industry it's going to go short. It's going to be your local coin dealer. What's happening is, it's already begun, and this is why you see premiums. They are rationing it. They probably have about 200 million ounces left over in the mining supply every year to supply retail demand. And that's it. And what they're going to do is they're going to take that couple 100 million ounces, and they're going to ration it to these companies like APMEX and Kitco and stuff. They're going to say, okay, you can only have this much this month. Well, we got demand for this much, but no, you're only going to have this much. So what you're going to see is, especially with silver, you're going to see they're out of this coin, or they're out of that coin, or out of that, and this is going to get worse. And because they're only getting limited supply coming in, you're going to see premiums go up higher and higher and higher as this dam breaks. Now, I got thinking about this for a minute. If silver goes into really tight short supply, which looks like when the dam breaks, that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, there's just not, they're only going to be very limited supply of what they have and what they can get. You're going to have to wait for it and all this kind of stuff. You know, you put in your order, you're going to have to wait 12 weeks, 14 weeks, 24 weeks. I mean, 6 months, 8 months to get your order filled. This is what's coming. Well, with that kind of a thing, I got thinking about it for a minute. And I said, shouldn't that affect the paper price, you know, with Basel III going in, you know, and them pulling back their horns? I got thinking about this. The paper price should explode. Because up till now, this is a derivatives market. That's what it is. Paper short contract control the price. It's a derivatives market. So if all of a sudden they start to lose control in the derivatives market, and instead of the paper determining the price, all of a sudden you've got your real physical silver starting to determine the price will skyrocket. So I thought to myself, you know, I said, oh, well, if the price of silver skyrockets, price of gold will skyrocket too, right? And what'll that do to the dollar? I thought to myself. You know, if silver goes up to $200 an ounce and gold goes up to $4,000 an ounce or whatever, what would that do to the dollar? I got thinking to myself. Well, they would be in a massive peck of trouble with the dollar. And I got thinking to myself, can they let that happen? Can they let the silver price go free? And I got thinking, maybe they can't. Maybe because it would destroy the dollar. So maybe they'll have to continue manipulating the paper price while they got a shortage in the physical. You know? And they keep the paper price down. What's that going to do? Well, of course, people will do is they'll go out and buy up all the physical, and there'll be even higher demand to keep the prices down through artificial means of using the derivatives contracts to keep the prices down. And that'll intensify the shortage. But then I said to myself, no, it won't, because this is what they're planning on doing. They're going to let the premiums go higher and higher. So that you guys don't gobble it all up at the cheap paper price. They're going to have it. So you know what we're headed toward, guys? We're headed toward a separation between the price for physical, what you pay, basically what you pay at the pump or whatever, you know. I mean, basically when you go to the silver store and go to buy silver, what we're facing, and this is what's coming, is higher and higher premiums. And more constraint on what you can buy. Like, they might get a few coins into this type of an African kangaroo or whatever. And you better snatch them up quick, because they'll all be gone. Poof. Because they're going to start, what they're going to start doing is, they're going to start rationing, big-time rationing, to the retail investor. And the rich people out there are going to be gobbling them up first. And it's going to get harder and harder for you to buy. The paper price is going to stay down, probably under $35, while you're going to see your premium skyrocket in the end. Don't be surprised if you see a $100 premium per ounce on silver. And these companies, if they do get a few people sell them back in, like when the price premiums get really high, they're going to pay, they're like if you sell, they're not going to, it's going to be completely detached from the from the paper price. So the paper price still might only be like $29. And there might be a $100 premium. Now, if you take your silver in to sell it, they are going to be more than happy to buy it off of you. In fact, they're going to really want it. Because the supply is going to be constrained to the silver dealers. They're going to really want it bad. And they're probably going to pay you some of the premium that they charge somebody else. So forget about selling for spot price anymore. That's going to be out the window. That's going out the window. And so the paper price will still be under $30. And the silver price might be $200. The real silver price, if you want the real thing. This is what's coming. We are losing premium. We're losing it. The market's being lost. The premiums are coming. And they're going to be massive. And so, and demand. Demand's going to be massive. And there's going to be an awful lot of pressure on silver dealers, retail silver dealers, to obtain product because they're going to be rationed. This is the kind of thing we're heading into. And I don't think they're going to let the silver price of the paper silver price explode to the high side. They're going to keep that under check. So the premium's going to become the ridiculous part of it all. And so as this dam breaks, and what I mean by a dam is it's like a bunch of water. What you got is you got over 100,000 of these Wall Street silver people wanting silver, retail investors, and then you got big guys behind them who want to accumulate now. Big money, people that are in the money pool. And they can't accumulate quickly because the big guys that's got billions of dollars, they'll break the market. And they're being rationed. But they want silver. Everybody wants it. It's going to be something that over the next 2 years, the demand is going to be through the roof. There's going to be no problem. You wait 6 months from now, it's going to be no problem selling your silver. Of course, the dealers out there, are only going to want to give you a cut of that premium. So in other words, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be drooling to get your silver. A dealer, if you want to sell. Real physical, But what's going to happen is they're going to share the premium with you. But maybe they're charging $100 premium per ounce. And still the spot price is only say $29. What they'll do is they will give you a cut of that premium if you sell, you know what I mean? But then they'll turn right around and sell it for the full premium. So what would that be if there's a $100 premium and silver is say $29 an ounce still? It'd be $129 or $130 silver per ounce. If you take it in to sell it, they would probably give you 70% of the premium, and they'd take 30% of that $100 premium. So they would sell it for the full $130, and they would probably give you maybe $100 an ounce. So they give you a cut on the premium, a percentage of it, because they'd be absolutely wanting to get silver like crazy because they'd have 1,000 orders in front of them to sell, and none coming in the other door much. Because they're being rationed by the big guys. And on the other end of that, we're still going to see the paper price way down there. But you're not going to be able to buy for that. So there's going to be this whole, remember the old thing where it was for years that you go into a place and they give you the spot price for silver? That's gone. That's going to be gone very soon. And because there's now a detachment between it's already happened. We're already seeing premiums, but this detachment's going to grow wider. It's the only direction for them to move without the silver market breaking open the whole financial system and spilling all the worms all over the ground. It's the only way it can go now. because they can't let that happen. They can't let the paper price of silver rise up to like over $100. It would break the financial system because gold would follow. And they got to keep this menagerie going at any cost, and that would mean absorbing the cost to them in the Basel III contracts, where they're going to lose 15% of their of how they can count it as capital in the banking system. They'll have to just absorb that. They'll have to keep the paper game going. Maybe it won't be as vigorous as it was before with its movements to the downside, but they got to keep that paper price stabilized. Meanwhile, they got no silver to give. So what's going to happen? Massive premiums and very, very difficult to obtain physical silver. I think that's where we're going. My analysis, listening to David Morgan, is I think he's right. I think that the dam is breaking the silver market. The retail investor is breaking the silver market for supply. I think there's going to be very little and very constrained supply on silver, and nobody's going to be selling. And you're going to watch the premiums go higher and higher and higher. And you're going to, basically what you're seeing is a movement up in the price of silver without seeing a movement up in the price of silver, because you're going to look on there and the paper price is still going to be way down there like $30. Meanwhile, try to buy some for that. I think this is the direction we're going. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.